Good morning, everyone. Welcome, Dragon Squad, to the pre-show. I think I waited long enough there. I'm John Adarola, and I am still without a printer. It's day 2, and it's a sort of subtle thing that makes me feel like I'm in a zombie apocalypse. That we have printer cartridges, but not for the printer that I use. And I've cannibalized all of the other printers of this same model for their cartridges over the course of the pandemic. And now I can't get anything to print. It sucks. Can I just say that while, totally obviously willing to wait, been doing that for a while, I just want people to be back in the studio. Can people be back in the studio? Like, come on, man, we're vaccinated. Let's make this work somehow. Anyway, hopefully within a month or two that'll happen. I just want people to be here. I just need help. I'm just very alone. Very alone. Anyway, not totally alone because you're all here. Thank you. And thank you to all of you who have already hit the like button. Definitely appreciate that. We're starting a little bit late because I was still searching for printer cartridges. We're gonna get them, by the way. They're getting bought and everything. It's just they're not here right now. So I am going to be doing the pre-show off of the iPad, which sounds like it would be like my ideal situation. It's like something out of Star Trek, and yet, oh God, I just want to have the paper. But anyway, thank you everybody for being here. Today is Big News Wednesdays, and it is indeed big news. Big international news, big domestic news, big fun news, big creepy news. Jared Jackson and I are going to be breaking down all the news a little bit later on. Let's see. Doomslayer Dragon says, check out Austin McConnell's video on the subject to see just how BS printer cartridges are. Well, I mean, I know that it's like the most expensive fluid on the planet, basically, which is weird. Kim says, I got the J&J shot today. That's awesome, Kim. By the way, speaking of Kims, I don't believe this is the same Kim. So Ink Puppy Dragon sent me these awesome pieces of art. First, a red panda. I don't know if you know, but we have an emoji available to our YouTube members of a red panda, and it's actually my, on like our video meetings, that's my avatar as a red panda. And also this adorable little baby dragon. How cute is that? Thank you very much, Ink Puppy Dragon. Makes me a little bit happier on a day where technology is incredibly frustrating to me. Thank you so much. Can't wait to, we gotta get our art area set up. We're gonna have one area for like fan art and things that have been sent in, hopefully once people come back. Keyblade Dragon says, hey John, I missed the last few shows. Did you see Musk's SNL episode yet? It's pretty cringe, especially Gen Z Hospital and Wario Court, LOL. So I know, I didn't watch the Wario Court because I just can't do that. I watched the beginning of the Gen Z Hospital until he walked out, and then I stopped, and it's not the sketch for me. I didn't like the satire of the thing they're talking about. I don't like a lot of the slang. Like, it was just too much. I couldn't take it. Now, I did technically watch the episode, but whenever he was on screen, I fast-forwarded through. So it was a very fast episode for me. CS says, told Rick you showed us Carl on his live stream. He lit up. He turned his cam around to Carl cam and continued with the news. Take note, guys. Dog cam. We should always have a dog cam. Kamazot says, did you get fresh creamer yet? Actually, Edwin... SNL is not officially crap. Edwin brought in some milk, actually, for the studio. It's very nice of him. So I did actually get milk. Up until he did that, I went to the store and they didn't have milk, they didn't have creamer, they didn't have anything like that, but they did have Yoo-Hoo. So I used Yoo-Hoo as my creamer. So I'm definitely a healthy sort of person. Let's launch into the news, everybody. And I know the one story that you all want me to comment on. It is very important for politics. It is Ellen apparently going to be canceling her show at the end of the 19th season in 2022. More than 3,000 episodes. It seems sort of weird. They're announcing it way out. Like, that's a long time from now. But anyway, as I'm sure you know, Ellen had all those accusations of creating an incredibly toxic workplace and treating her workers like crap and all that. And it was all revealed in some amazing reporting, and then, like, she was fine, seemingly. So maybe she wasn't, actually, because they are going to be canceling the show. Although it's difficult to really feel like it's a consequence when you had your 3,000 episodes, and she gets to say that she's leaving. Let's give her a reason. when you're a creative person, you constantly need to be challenged. And as great as this show is, and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore. So, look, I will freely admit that I will be doing the following commentary from a position of ignorance, with the ignorance coming in the form of I don't watch Ellen and I don't know much about what the show is like. I'm a little bit familiar with some of I've seen a couple of interviews or something like that. Was it a challenge before? And like, I'm kind of being a dick and totally ignorant because I don't know. Maybe it's super challenging, I don't know. But like, if you do you watch Ellen? Was it a challenge? Was it like the first few years, man, we really pushed through some difficult, like, was it? I thought you danced and you had celebrities come out and you chit-chatted. Like, nothing wrong with that, by the way, other than the workplace harassment and all that. But like, so my point being, is it really the reason if it was never actually accurate? That's all I'm saying. So Ellen will be leaving. Her slot may be filled by Kelly Clarkson, who has a talk show. I didn't know about that, so clearly very ignorant. But anyway, denies that she's ending the show over the issues. She wanted to stop several years ago, before the issues arose. I don't know. Look, it's a type of content that I am glad in the abstract exists. It doesn't do anything for me, but the world sucks, so if you like watching her dance, that's cool. Speaking of dancing and me being a dick and ignorant, and also of people needing content that's just like so she would come out and dance or whatever. There's this type of content that I occasionally see on Instagram, and I think it's very big on TikTok. Hold on, I'm going to tell you in 1 minute, but I want to make sure that I don't miss any comments about Ellen. Rob Shively says, we're doing news so big with numbers never seen. It might be fit for a comment from the desk of the former president. Zane says, couch jumping Tom Cruise was on Ellen too, John. Wasn't that on Oprah Winfrey? I thought that was on Oprah. I'm not sure. Alan says, profits J&J made on vaccine being paid to baby powder users. It's hard to understand the cycles corporate corruption makes money go through. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that was Oprah. But, and look, fine. Like, other than the workplace stuff, I'm sure Ellen was totally fine. Puka Dragon says, watching live first time since March, living off grid. Howdy, y'all. Oh, that sounds exciting. Interesting. The tiger stories. Yeah, I don't have much to say about the tiger. I think CNN bringing on Carol Baskin's weird. I get it. Sort of. Anyway, okay, so here's the dancing thing. So, and this is just going to be old man John, I guess. So what is with and maybe it's not new. I'm totally ignorant. The, like, dancing videos on TikTok and Instagram that pop up. Like, and by the way, I am not talking about a lot of different types of content that are actually dancing. But there's this, like, particular type of dancing that goes viral where people just do, like, these little tiny motions. Like, I guess it's a dance move, but it's like you point over here and then you, like, fling your arms over there and there's music and you're like kind of moving, but not like a lot. And it's, I guess it's dancing. Is there a particular name for it? And I'm not talking about like the, Fortnite dances or anything like that. That's one particular type. No, this is like, I'm going to do this particular thing in an order, and I'm sort of dancing, and I think presumably I'm looking really cute while doing it, but I'm not really like dancing. I don't know. I can't take life anymore. I don't understand anything that's going on. Anyway, I can't wait to see what you all think about that. Andar says, it was a big deal at the time for Ellen to be hosting a talk show after having her show canceled for coming out. I think that was a challenge. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and I get that. That was obviously a long time ago. That's literally what TikTok is. It's all because of Fortnite. But these aren't Fortnite dances. These are like, it's not that I'm coming up with some new whatever. It's like, I'm going to do these 7 things in order and smile a lot while I'm doing it. And like, I get like it's happy content. It's carefree content. I suppose there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's just sort of weird. Kathy, thank you for the awesome sticker. Fed into the tigers, Jesus. It's for kids, easy dances they can do themselves. That's why they're popular. Yeah, I could sort of see that. It's the sort of thing where it would be very easy to duplicate the video, whereas like organic dancing seems harder, I guess. I don't really know. And maybe, yeah, kind of like it's like the Macarena, honestly. It's not, but it's kind of like that. And I guess partially it's because TikTok you have to be in that very narrow frame, so you can't really move too much, maybe. Shut up and dance. John, you're getting old, man. Yeah, I definitely. No. By the way, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I don't have a problem with it. Obviously, but part of it is, designed to be attractive, and some of the people that do it, very attractive. I have no problem with it. It's just I don't remember seeing stuff like that a couple of years ago. Hey, you kids, get off my lawn. No, don't get off my lawn. Stay on my lawn. Stay on my lawn. It's fun stuff that's easy to do. That's probably what I prefer gluten-free dancing. I just find it interesting. Anyway, I'm not saying get off my lawn. Okay, how much time do we have? Do we have time for other stories? Oh yeah, well, just in case, let me go into a few of the comments. Okay, so we're going to be talking a ton about Palestine, Israel, all of that. So horrible situation. And everyone with even a spectral shred of a heart wants to be able to say that it really bothers them. But for some people, it doesn't bother them quite enough. In particular parts of it don't really bother them. So I want to be critical of a couple of people. I'm going to start off with a non-political one. So this is Gal Gadot. So actress, Wonder Woman. I liked Wonder Woman. Here's what she had to say. My heart breaks. My country is at war. I worry for my family. Your country is not at war. Your country is kind of waging war, committing massacres. It's not a war because they're not going up against another military. This is not what war is. But anyway, I worry for my family, my friends. I worry for my people. This is a vicious cycle that has been going on for far too long. Yeah, but what's the cycle? Because the cycle has been going on for a long time, but it's been a lot worse for some people involved in this than others. Like, all of this commentary is very, zoomed out. Like, I don't recognize any of the specific contours of it anymore, but I'm sort of talking about it. Israel deserves to live as a free and safe nation. Our neighbors deserve the same. Our neighbors? They're not your neighbors, man. They're an occupied, population. I pray for the victims and their families. I pray for this unimaginable hostility to end. I pray for our leaders to find the solution so we can live side by side in peace. I pray for better days. So, look, she is showing empathy in some form, but very vaguely, and not recognizing that this is not an equal thing, not recognizing that the onus to find a solution is much more on the people who continue to do the occupying and the murder. But anyway, look, she is, at the very least, not a politician. So she can say that, if she wants. There's other people who have been commenting, including Andrew Yang, whose commentary has not been as good. So we're going to turn to that in just a second. Okay, lawn party. A new thing, horror. No, it's not horror. I'm just commenting. Moondragon says, I'm so old that I don't even get twerking. Yeah, but that's the interesting thing. There's nothing I've seen in any of the dances are anywhere near as complex as something like twerking. And so that's why I do believe it is. I think this is for young people especially who want to duplicate it. So it has to be really simple. It has to be pointing up here and then waving or something. It has to be very simple. Richard Rose says, today's D-Block, John doesn't understand joy or youthful abandon. No, I get joy. It's enjoyable. I watch it. They're very cute people or whatever. But Gallus former IDF, yes. Well, yeah, obviously every citizen is, but yes. Or everyone who doesn't go to jail for not serving. Sorkin Dragon says, hey, John, if you weren't Dragon Dad, what dragon name would you choose for yourself? It's interesting. I don't know. That decision was sort of taken away from me. I'm going to have to think about that. Interesting. Okay, let's see. DH says, Carol Baskin runs one of the best sanctuaries in the world and got the heavily abused animals that survived abuse. The Grinder thing was staged by Netflix. Why believe Joe Exotic, a pathological liar? DH, I do not have a dog or a big cat in this fight. I only watched a bit of that show. I don't know. Maybe she didn't kill anyone. John Campbell Rees, welcome to Tier 1 YouTube membership. Appreciate all of our members. Let's see. N136 says, "You were saying it is not get off my lawn, but the orange grandpa blanket on the back of your chair says otherwise. Love you, John. Happy Wednesday." It's not my chair or my blanket. Corey Baldwin says, "Gara is ex-military and a past apartheid apologist." Yes, I know she's had a lot of bad commentary. Juju, welcome to Tier 2 YouTube membership, thus getting access to the weekly top 10 list, including this week, top 10 people we would prefer to host SNL rather than more awful billionaires. Not Human Humanist says, "It's sometimes hard to understand a situation if you are involved in it. I needed to emigrate and learn 3 other languages to unlearn racism." That is interesting, yeah. She was raised in it, dwells in it. Okay, so Andrew Yang had terrible commentary about Israel-Palestine. So after about a day, he had this to say. I'm not going to read the whole thing. There's a lot here. "I spoke to a group of volunteers for the campaign yesterday, some of whom have been with me for years. Many of them were upset with my recent tweet expressing solidarity with the people of Israel in conjunction with the violence of the region this week that has claimed the lives of innocents and children on both sides. I will say, the word Palestine or Palestinian does not show up until halfway through, and his read of why people were mad is kind of self-serving. It's not that it's 100% wrong, but there's more to it than that. Anyway, he says, "They expressed to me that they follow and support me for a number of reasons. One is that I am a clear-headed person who follows facts. The other is that I am a human being who stands for universal values of fellowship and goodwill. They felt that my tweet was overly simplistic in my treatment of a conflict that is a long and..." Yeah, okay. "They failed to acknowledge the pain and suffering on both sides." Again, but it's not about acknowledging both sides. It's about acknowledging that both sidesing this thing is crap. That's basically what it is, and a lot more. He says, "They were, of course, correct. I mourn for every Palestinian life taken before its time, as I do for every Israeli." But again, it isn't equal. Equally mourning when one group suffers 90% plus the casualties in every one of these clashes that happen is wrong, okay? "All people want to be able to live in peace. Supportive of people does not make one blind to the pain and suffering of others. That's what I blah, 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 blah. For those who've spoken to me on this, thank you. Continue to believe in humanity." Okay, so he said a whole lot, but no, and let me show you. It's that much commentary. Nowhere in any of that does he acknowledge why this cycle exists, who bears the vast majority of the suffering in this, the nature of the occupation. Does it express any particular opinion about what needs to happen or what, if anything, needs to change? And so look, is he saying, "I don't want Palestinians to die"? Yes, he is saying that, sort of, while both sides of it. However, he is still being very careful to not say anything that would anger people who the first comment was targeted towards. The sort of normal Democrat stuff of, yeah, Israel's always right, go Israel, they're the best. Which most of them say. Nancy Pelosi had a comment out yesterday. It was absolutely horrible. It was at least as bad as Andrew Yang's first comment. So, no, this still isn't good. Like, their volunteers are mad at me because they know that I always follow the facts. No, you're saying stuff that's politically convenient. That's what you're doing. Even this, it's a little bit better, but it's still very politically convenient. And again, I'll say what I said yesterday. Andrew Yang is not the worst person. He's not even the worst person in the Democratic Party on this set of issues. However, for a person that is supposed to be independent, who's supposed to be free thinking and all that, giving sort of shitty, politically careful commentary when people are dying is terrible. And he clearly sees New York as, a stepping stone to a presidential run in the future and all that. If and when you do that again, we are going to have to decide, what sort of leader have you been? This is when that happens. This is when you get to decide if you're going to be a leader or not. Who do you want to represent? Who, from which groups do you truly want to represent? And this is not good enough. It's just not good enough. Now, we have other terrible comments that we're going to be breaking down the show, but for a guy that's been on the show, that I like on some issues, it's not good. It's not good. Okay, let's see. Did I have anything else that I could fit in this time? Here's a fun, weird bit of news. Michigan, I believe it's Michigan, Michigan has a fact checker registration act that they're debating. So that already is crazy just based on the name. But what it's going to do is, if you want to be a fact checker, you have to register. You have to have a $1 million fidelity bond with the Secretary of State's office. And if you are in violation of the registry requirements, you may be fined $1,000 per day. you have to register to be a fact checker. What is a fact checker? I mean, it's a lot of different things, but I will say the people who are putting this together, the state representatives, the Republicans who are putting this together, they know this. They know that they don't like facts or the checking thereof. Everyone should be a fact checker. It is the onus on us as citizens, as engaged people. Just those who care about what is real and true, you're supposed to be checking facts. Now, I get that they probably mean something more like fact checkers for political parties, for journalistic outlets, things like that. But even that is a wide range of different sets of resources and methodology and all of that. But they know that they don't like it. And more importantly, they know that their base doesn't like fact checking because their base wants to be told the things that they like. And the things that they like are generally not true. And they're okay with that. They just don't want it to be pointed out. The pointing out of it, that's what becomes inconvenient. And so, if you want to be a fact checker, you would have to pay, or not pay $1 million, but you'd have to have the $1 million insurance or whatever, which is certainly going to be expensive. The goal of this is to stop people from checking facts, to make it financially impossible to check a fact. That's what it is. That seems crazy. Look, Non-Human Humanist is saying, is this kind of the Ministry of Truth thing from 1984? Have we reached the Orwellian future? I was rather hoping for a Star Trek one. Agreed. And look, obviously, it's very easy and very common to make comparisons to Orwell for virtually anything. That said, this makes it a little bit easier. I mean, if you do not want us to think of the Ministry of Truth, you're not doing a great job of hiding your goals and the ideology that would spring forth this sort of legislation. Anyway, just insane. Post says, but who fact checks the fact checkers? Well, I guess billionaires, because no one else would have the money. Anyway, so look, we're going to close out in another minute or two. I did want to let you know that J.R. Jackson is going to be joining me for Big News Wednesdays. I also wanted to let you know that we've got something exciting coming up for you in about a week and a half. So not this week, not next week, but the week after that, I am going to be away for the first 4 days of the week. I will be back for Friday, but for 4 days, I will be gone. And for me, that will be time to hopefully finish my novel. If you're not familiar with this, that's probably for the best, but I am writing a novel set in a fantasy world with no humans, just animals. So basically think something like Redwall, but fantasy. Magic and monsters and stuff like that. So I'm going to be trying to finish that novel. And I need it because politics has been getting me down recently. Maybe that's been clear from these pre-shows. But anyway, I am going to need that. But what does that mean for you? What happens with the show? Well, I'm a little bit worried that you might really like what's going to be happening because for those 4 days, Francesca Fiorentini is going to be hosting the Damage Report, and she's going to be joined by an awesome suite of guest hosts. I don't remember for sure. I believe Rashad might be coming on, maybe Benjamin Dixon, maybe Anna Kasparian, but anyway, she's going to have awesome people. For those of you who are asking when you could read the novel, first of all, this is going to be finishing the first draft. God only knows when it would be ready for anyone to read it. And I doubt anyone would publish it, but we will see about that. Maybe we can start a social media campaign to put pressure on Tor someday. Anyway, so that's going to be coming up. I'm not a furry. It's not that sort of thing. Anyway, these are not humans in animal costumes. These are little animals. Anyway, so that's going to be really exciting. But you know what comes up before that? J.R. Jackson's Big News Wednesday. So hope to see you either here or at twitch.tv/TYT. Thank you to everyone who sent in super chats, subscribed as a member of the channel. Really do appreciate that. I might self-publish it. We'll see. But we'll talk more about that in the future. And also, I'm just going to throw this out as a little bomb. I've been I occasionally, for the past couple of years actually, have had people ask me about doing some sort of Patreon thing or something like that for politics. And I have chosen not to do that. I don't rule it out for the future or whatever. I've chosen not to do that because I want to keep my commentary free of that. That said, I have considered, mostly as a means of motivating myself to create more stuff, doing it for my non-political creative work. We'll see. We'll see. I have no idea if that's going to happen, but that might be a thing that would also allow people to read the book or whatever. But anyway, Zane says no pre-show for 4 days. probably no pre-show for 4 days. Maybe I'll do it myself, but anyway. I'm not starting an OnlyFans. Anyway, I gotta go. Thanks for all the clocks. I will see you in a few.